Okay, friends, so we are going to have a new exit ticket this year. And you know my bulletin board outside that says, "What's your status?" We're going to start hanging these up there. And I'm going to also be choosing one from each class to tweet about. And I'll tweet your picture, I'll tweet your work, I'll tweet something along with what you post here. So this is a fake Twitter post. So let's do the lines first. So the app part right here is going to be your name. So I'm going to put my first and last name. Okay, so Amber Hinkle. And my hashtag is going to be my teacher. So hashtag Mrs. Hinkle. And in the back of the room where I'm going to have the basket and the example is also going to have a class list of teachers. So if you need help spelling their last names, that's all you got. Okay, so I did my name, my teacher's name, so I know where this goes. On your tweets, you are going to write something you learned, something that you didn't know before today's question, before today's lesson, or something that you still have a question about. You can choose any of these things. You can choose to write all of these things, but you need to remember to keep it in 140 characters or less. So today's lesson was about discovery education. Maybe something that I learned today was how to use discovery education streaming. Today I learned how to use DE streaming to learn more about a topic. Okay, so here's an example of a tweet that is something that I learned. And I'm going to be hanging these out on the bulletin board, and I'm also going to be tweeting your answers for real on Twitter that you can check out. Okay, so there's an example number one of something that I learned. Let's get out a new one. If I'm tweeting, I need to have my first and last name. And you know what? You can skip the Mrs. part and just put hashtag Hinkle, because then I know whose class you're in. And let's try something I didn't know. Well, before today's lesson, I didn't know how to use Board Builder. So I could say before today's lesson, I didn't know how to use Board Builder in DE. Try your best with spelling. Um, if you need help, you can always ask a neighbor. C3 before me. And I'll try to help as much as possible. So here was something that I learned new today. This is something that pretty much the same thing. I didn't know how to use Board Builder before. And then the third option, let's do one more example. Actually, we're going to do two more examples. Answer number 3. Now these are remember hashtag is your teacher's name. A question I still have. Maybe I learned how to use Board Builder for the most part, but I still have questions. So I would like to know more about how to, let's be specific, share, because we didn't go over that in the video yet, my boards that I create. Because the more specific you are with your questions, the better I will be at addressing them and helping you with them in the future. So there's some really generic examples, and I have another example for something that I learned. So this one was really generic. Today I learned how to use DE streaming to learn more about a topic. So maybe if I wanted to be a little bit more specific, and let me tell you, if the more detailed you are in your description, remember teacher's name down here at the hashtag, the more specific you are or detailed you are, the more likely your tweet is going to make it onto real live Twitter. So maybe instead of saying, I just learned about streaming, I learned how to use the filter to find more resources that I need on DE streaming. Because remember I showed you how to use the filters and then you got specifically what you needed. So this is a more specific tweet, and this example is going to get you closer to being on the board or getting a live tweet than some of these generic ones. Now these are still great. You told me something that you learned today, but this is what I really want. Something that's more specific. See how there's more details here? And I know that you learned how to use the filters. So not just streaming, but the filters in DE streaming.